Pizza time.
Yo, what's good, everybody? What's good? Hope everyone's doing well out there in the world. Hello. Thank you, CGH, for stopping by. Just kind of do just a quick little stream. Just kind of want to talk about, Scream movies, Scream franchise, all that fun stuff, because I need to do a stream, and this is something I've been watching for the past week. So I figured, hey, just boot something up and talk about it, chill out and hang out with some people for a little bit. So, kind of going to go in order and sort of just see how things progress, of course. And, all right, it'll be that. Got some other things planned as well. I'll probably do a Scream 6 review this weekend. And then we got the TMNT retro review stream. Might move that to Saturday night. I haven't decided yet. It might be on Saturday night instead of Sunday night. We'll see. But yeah, let's get right into it, man. So I'm going to send a link out to some peeps. See if they can pop on. Because it'll help make the conversation a little bit, funner. How's everyone doing today? Hope everyone's doing good. Alright, so that has been sent. RJ Cinematic Universe begins now. I mean, it's kind of always been a thing, though, I would feel like. It's kind of always been waiting in the wings a little bit. Waiting in the wings a little bit. But yeah. So we're going to open this up by... This isn't a serious stream. It's more so just a fun, casual stream. I figured, it's been a while. It's been about a week since I did my last stream, which was kind of drama-filled. So I'd rather do something a little more fun and casual. And Scream is kind of part of that. Scream is kind of part of that. I know some people are running some live streams right now, so it's probably going to be a little, not busy, but yeah. I'm not the most professional person when it comes to hosting streams lately, but it's okay. What's up, Nate? So, anyway, sorry for the delay. Probably should have sent links out before I went live, but what you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? Anyway, let's get right into this. So, Scream. Fun fact about me in the Scream series. I have not watched any of the sequels before this past week. I've only ever seen the original. I've seen the original Scream, I think, twice now. Other films I have not seen whatsoever. Oh, what's up, Chill? Jenna is in Scream 5, which is kind of like the requel, relaunch of the franchise, kind of. So we'll kind of get into that. Just 5, yeah, 5 and 6, yeah. Yep. So, like I said, I did not watch the Scream sequels until rather recently. I don't know why, just never did. I'm not sure why. I only ever watched the original. Never moved beyond the original. Only saw the original, like I said, 2 times. I think 3 if you count this past rewatch for this marathon I did. Other than that, though, have not seen any of the Scream sequels. So a lot of the focus I kind of want to... Scary Movie should count as a Scream. It kind of does. I've seen... Well, the funny thing is that I saw Scary Movie before I saw Scream, which is kind of funny because Scary Movie is based... The first one especially is all based around making fun of Scream, and I never saw Scream. I just enjoyed it for making fun of the other horror cliches and all that. So I never saw Scream. So might be time to do a rewatch of Scary Movie to kind of appreciate that aspect a little bit more, So it's kind of funny. But when we get into Scream itself, of course, so just FYI, when we talk about these movies, uh, for all of them, we will be talking spoilers because it's kind of impossible to really talk about these movies without going into the nitty gritty, without really getting into some additional details about things. So if you've not seen these movies, I would probably suggest that you don't watch this because spoilers. But if you're cool with spoilers or if you've seen these movies before, I don't think it should matter really. So it should be fine. Um, Scream 1, obviously, horror classic. Everyone kind of is familiar with it. The premise, it's a very meta series, kind of homaging horror cliches, homaging horror tropes, kind of like trying to be like slasher in real life, kind of. First movie, introduces the characters. You got the core three: Sidney Prescott, Gale Weathers, Dewey Riley. So we kind of get introduced to those core three in this movie. Again, it's a horror classic. It's kind of, aged, I think, a little bit gracefully. So I think, it kind of is one of those things. What's interesting about this movie revisiting it is obviously everyone kind of knows the opening scene. Drew Barrymore gets the phone call. Weird guy on the phone with the creepy voice talking about what's your favorite scary movie, which is obviously the big old famous line. Everyone knows it. So I imagine at the time it probably was really shocking when, again, spoilers, when Drew Barrymore, who is a rising star and a big name at the time, gets killed in like the opening 10 minutes of the movie. So yeah, you think it's like, oh, it's Drew Barrymore. It's kind of like Psycho in a way, which is kind of funny because they make a lot of references to Psycho and Halloween in the series. So it's kind of funny how it's very Psycho-like, where it's like the main blonde actress you think is the main star isn't really the star. She gets killed off right away, which that kind of makes a lot of fun. So that aspect I think is really cool. So, but yeah, I like I said, Scream 1 kind of really, I feel like, does a good job of like establishing its lead characters. Again, it plays up those movie tropes. It plays up kind of everything about it. What I think is interesting is that there's some good kills in the movie because of course you got to have good kills, but it's not like over the top, at least with these early films with their violence. I felt like the violence doesn't start getting really extreme until I feel like Scream 2. It starts playing up the violence a bit more and starts getting a little bit more extreme. Of course, that's just personal thing, and it's probably also too because I've seen so many scary movies and so many things with this where it's like horrifically violent and like horrible things happen. And so for God's sakes, I watched X. I think back in February I watched X, and my God, that movie! Some of the violence in that's just like Jesus Christ, and like a barbarian or anything like that, or it's just like you're just kind of like, what the hell are we doing? Well, in a good way though, in a good way. So, um, so there's that. Yeah, Matthew Lillard's in this, so I think is really great. They should bring back Matthew Lillard. I know he gets his like head caved in with the TV and electrocuted, and he's most likely dead. There's no way that they can, uh, probably bring him back. But it'd be so cool if they brought him back. I think that'd be really neat if he brought him back in some way. So, just my opinion, though. Just my opinion. Really? So you've only seen the fifth one? That's interesting. See, I didn't watch any of these sequels until like the past 2 weeks. So that's kind of where we were with that. So, well, I know he did though, but come on, like there's other people who got stabbed and stuff that they brought back too. Wouldn't be too extreme. I'm just saying. I think it would be neat if they did. They're probably not going to though. That's okay. Maybe he has like a twin brother. Do it that way. Just he's got a twin brother. What's up, Doug? So he's got a twin brother. But yeah, Scream, definitely strong. It's a horror classic for a reason. Quite enjoyed that one. Moving on to Scream 2. Scream 2. I think it's a solid sequel. I liked it. Um, got one issue with it though. Spoiler alert: they kind of do Sarah Michelle Gellar kind of dirty. She's barely in the movie, and she's like the first kill after the opening kill. I'm just like, why? Sarah Michelle Gellar couldn't use her a little more. But hey, Timothy Oliphant's in it. He's the killer. Is Mickey, so that was kind of fun. Seeing good old Marshall in there as the killer. Interesting twist too, with like the Billy Loomis's mom kind of funding things and helping Mickey plot the killings out. So, oh no, 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 no. We'll get to Scream 3 in a minute. No, 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 no. Yeah, I mean, two's good. I think two, honestly, it's not as good as one, but it's still pretty solid. I like two a lot. I think the college setting makes it a little more fun. I think you kind of get some more character development with Sydney, and you get more character development with Dewey and Gale. So it's a fun sequel. I think the kills are a little more interesting in this one too, and that kind of plays stuff. It's a bit more of a mystery, I think, too, which kind of helps things out a little bit. So that kind of is, I mean, there's not much to say with Scream 2. I mean, it's a good little movie. I will say the opening of the movie I think is fantastic. Like, I know everyone talks about the opening of Scream 1 with Drew Barrymore, but the opening of Scream 2 with Jada Pinkett Smith and her boyfriend like getting killed at the movie premiere, that was really cool. I really like that. Like, it's very dramatic because it's like it really comments on like the hyperfixation we give to like horror movies and real life killers, where like the media attention kind of glorifies things a bit, and like people can't tell the difference between fantasy and reality. So I really liked that. I thought that was neat. I really liked that opening scene. So, oh, it's Omar Epps. Okay, yeah, that opening scene I thought was really cool. Oh boy. So, like I said, Scream 1, good, classic horror classic. It's pretty good. All that fun stuff. Then we move on to Scream 3. I did not like this one. I did not like Scream 3. It's not a bad movie. I want to clarify. I don't think any of the Scream movies are bad, but if I'd had to pick one that I thought was like not the greatest and like very disappointing, it's Scream 3. Now, I will say I love the Hollywood meta-ness to it. I like the fact that it really leans on to Hollywood and stuff. But there's just a lot of weird shit in this movie that just doesn't vibe with me, you know? Like, there's a random Jay and Silent Bob cameo in the movie, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. I love Jay and Silent Bob, but I'm looking at myself like, why is this in the movie? And they're playing themselves. They're playing themselves. It's not like it's Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes, right? It's actually Jay and Silent Bob. And it's so weird. And again, some of the things in here are really cool. Like, I think there's some cool kills, of course. I think what they do with Sydney and like her trying to come over her PTSD from the previous two movies is really interesting. You get like Gale and Dewey hooking up. You get some character development with them, but it's just like I think it goes too meta. Like, it leans way too far in the meta direction, and it's just eh. And I think it's the weakest killer of the franchise thus far. Like, it being the director of Stab 3, and it's like the brother or the half brother of Sydney or whatever, just like, what? And they say, oh, Sydney's mom was in Hollywood and she was in horror films. Like, it's just very weird backstory stuff to try and tie it all together to make sense. Like, Roman was the one who filmed Sydney's mom hooking up with Colton, and that's what set Billy Loomis off. I'm just like, I just don't know. It just, again, it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie, but it's just, I just don't know. It just, was not my favorite. It's not a bad movie. I just think it's a very weird movie. And yeah, it does feel a lot like Scooby Doo, which can be fun. I like my Scooby Doo, but it's just like I said, it's not a bad movie though. So then we got Scream 4. Definitely better than Scream 3, although it's still not one of my favorites, I'm sad to say. It's definitely one of the lower ranking ones, but it's much better than Scream 3. I think it's a pretty solid sequel. Again, I think they handled Legacy, like Sydney, Gale, and Dewey, all that stuff really well. You got some interesting kills, of course. It's a lot more violent, I feel like, compared to Scream 3, which I was doing some research, and apparently they toned down Scream 3's violence because of the Columbine shooting, which I guess that makes sense. So, you're removed from it 11 years later, you kind of get to go more ham with the violence and the killings. So, that was interesting. I think the killer was very surprising. I mean, not the main, well, not the guy, because there's two killers in this, and it's Curry Culkin, and then it's revealed that Sydney's cousin Emma Roberts is also one of the killers. He's trying to like stake out fame for her own. I'm like, oh, Emma Roberts is the killer, and I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. That was a genuine surprise. Some of these movies you always worry. It's like, oh, is like the mystery gonna suck? It's too obvious. But in this case, no. I thought it was a very well done mystery and reveal that made it very fun and engaging for sure. Oh, the stab to the face. Well, the way they killed Anthony Anderson was so dirty, man. I was so happy to see Anthony Anderson and Adam Brody in this movie, and they get killed in like the worst way possible. Poor Anthony Anderson gets stabbed in the head, and like he's walking around limping. He says, "F Bruce Willis, man." It's like, poor Anthony Anderson. But it was nice to have those two in there as little cameos. Um, what else? I'm trying to think about what else would Scream 4. Like I said, I think like if they would have ended things with Scream 4, I don't think Scream 4 felt like an ending. It always felt like there's like room for something else. Cause Scream 3, it ends with like the door opening and like Sydney doesn't go and close it because she's like, okay, I feel safe now. I don't need to worry about things anymore. Like I feel like a good ending. Scream 4 didn't really feel like an ending, so I could see why they wanted to make more. But then of course Wes Craven passed away, so it's like, what do you do at that point? But I like Scream 4. Scream 4 was alright. Is alright. Then we move on to latest movie of the franchise, Scream 5. Now I know this is the newest one, so if you haven't seen Scream 5 yet, spoilers, but very good legacy sequel. Again, it's a requel. They kind of do something similar to like The Force Awakens or Jurassic World, which they reference in this movie. You introduce a bunch of new characters to take over the franchise, and you kind of use the legacy characters to lift up the new characters and to pass the torch. I thought that worked really well here. I thought they used Gale pretty well. I was kind of shocked that Sydney wasn't in the movie that much. I was thinking to myself, it's just like, it feels more like Dewey and Gale's movie a bit more. More so Dewey than Gale. And Sydney, I don't think was in the movie nearly enough. Like, I would have liked to have seen more of Nev Campbell in the movie. And, yeah, or Halloween 2. Halloween 2, yeah, CJH, yeah. Like, but Sydney, I thought was like, like I would have liked to see more Nev Campbell. I mean, she has one scene in the beginning when she gets a phone call from Dewey, and then she's at the back half of the movie after. Spoiler alert: they killed Dewey off. They killed David Arquette, and that made me very sad. Because Dewey was great. But I get it. You kind of have to do something different and shake things up and be like, okay, kind of passing the torch off, and just you have to have some stakes in there. I was very sad though because I'm like, David Arquette, he's been in every single movie. It's just like, we lost him, but it is what it is. I thought at least it was handled very well. And I really like the new cast of characters. I like Jenna Ortega's Tara. I thought that opening scene was fantastic. I really like the twins, Mindy and Chad. I thought they were interesting. Yeah, I love the West kill. The West kill in the shower, very reminiscent of Psycho, kinda. Or it's not in the shower, but he gets stabbed through the door and all that, and his mom, who's the sheriff now, who's the cop from Scream 4, gets killed, and that was cool. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised the twins survived though, because freaking Chad gets like stabbed in the gut and the back like 5 or 6 times. I'm like, how are you alive? It's just like, what? And then I think this is like the most controversial thing about the movie, but I didn't mind it. Sam, who's the main character, is the daughter of Billy Loomis from, I guess, somebody he knocked up in high school. I don't know if they really established who the mom is, but um, she's the daughter of Billy Loomis, and she gets like visions of Skeet Ulrich's Billy Loomis, like all bloodied up and shot, trying to encourage her to embrace her killer instinct. I'm like, yes, is it a little bit silly and over the top because this is meant to be more grounded compared to other horror franchise? Kinda, but I don't think I think it's fine. I mean, she's kind of experiencing like identity crisis and like the fact that she's related to somebody, second I don't think I minded it that much. I think it also kind of teases that this new main character is the dark side of them. It's like, could they snap and become a killer too? Yeah, like dichotomy, that moral dichotomy. So I mean, I didn't mind that per se. I thought that was fine. I thought that was fine. Um, Killers were cool too. I mean, yeah, the Amber and Hugh. No, I said Huey. Richie, played by Jack Quaid. I called him Huey. I mean, I just think Huey when I see him. But yeah, I thought they were really cool. I thought it was so funny that the movie was making fun of toxic fans and toxic fandom. Like the killers literally being toxic fans who wanted to like restore the glory days of the Stab franchise after Ryan Johnson directed Stab 8. I'm like, that's so on the nose, but I kind of have to respect it because it's just like, yeah, let's just call it out and just have fun with it. You know, I thought that was really cool. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't really have much else to say. I mean, it was cool getting to like watch this franchise and kind of get to see it and have fun with it. If I'm to do a ranking right now, personally, I would go the original Scream, Scream 5, Scream 2, Scream 4, and then Scream 3. I think that's how I'd rank them. So I'd go 1, 5, 2, 4, 3. I think it's how I'd rank them. I do think 5 is probably my favorite since the very first movie. But like I said, I don't think any of the Scream movies are bad. I actually quite enjoyed all of them. They're all good to some extent. So just I think Scream 3 was the worst though. So that's I didn't like Scream 3 as much, but it wasn't a bad movie. It was like, it's all right. It's all right. The rest of them I would call good though, good to great. So yeah, those are my thoughts on all the Scream movies. We'll hopefully be seeing Scream 6 tomorrow. So let's hopefully hope I can avoid spoilers until then. But I will be seeing Scream 6 tomorrow and hopefully do a video review of that for the channel. Try and produce a video, which I haven't done a video in a long time. And uh don't forget to got the TMNT retro review stream coming, which that should be either Saturday night or Sunday. Haven't decided yet. I'll probably do it Sunday though, maybe Sunday afternoon. So yeah, thank y'all so much for watching, and we're out of here. Peace.